Azimio leader Raila Odinga has come out to dispel assertions by President William Ruto that the Kenya Kwanza administration has increased allocations to the education sector and enhanced capitation for all learners. In a statement to newsrooms Tuesday, Odinga termed the president's position as, quote, an open lie, and that in fact, Ruto's government has for 2 consecutive financial years fallen way short of disbursing the requirement amounts for learning. Odinga's position coming at a time when concerns are rising over the fate of learners depending on NG-CDF bursaries that has not been disbursed 1 week to the start of the 2024 academic calendar. And just a reminder that there were some amendments made to the law as regards NG-CDF and what it can be applied to, including the digital hubs at the ward level. If you are a frequent visitor of the ntvkenya.co.ke website, you will be familiar with that information. We do not have the ability to cover all the stories in the course of this news hour, but ntvkenya.co.ke is a consistent source of information. So there we go. The story here is Raila Odinga dispelling assertions by President William Ruto that the Kenya Kwanza administration has increased allocations to the education sector and enhanced capitation for all learners. He has disputed this, terming it an open lie. Here is the report.
Azimio leader Raila Odinga avers that by the 3rd academic term of the financial year 2022-2023, the government still owed learners in excess of 17.66 billion shillings after it only disbursed 64.42 billion shillings of the required 82 billion shillings in terms of subsidy for free day secondary education. Odinga says that this shortfall in effect left some 794,231 learners without any form of funding. In the current 2023-2024 financial year, the Azimio leader says that instead of disbursing 22,244 shillings per student, the Ruto regime has so far disbursed 3,327 shillings per student, still owing each learner in public secondary schools some 18,916 shillings, which is 85% of the required capitation. Thus, in calling for the release of the capitation funds, the Azimio leader says that the government must release all the monies owed to schools, calling on parents, teachers associations and school boards of management across the country to rise to the occasion and demand the funding. He has also called on members of parliament and county assemblies to embark on active steps to force the government to release public education funding both at the primary and secondary school levels before schools resume Monday. But even as the ODM leader raises issues about capitation, more uncertainty lies ahead for learners and parents over the delayed disbursement of the National Government Constituency Development Fund, whose bursaries many are depending on to report back to school. In December last year, members of the National Assembly temporarily halted proceedings at the August House, protesting the delayed disbursement of the National Government Constituency Development Fund. The MPs were seeking to forestall a situation where schools would reopen, yet bursaries had not been released to the accounts of the respective schools. At the time, President William Ruto assuring that the disbursement was scheduled for before the opening of schools.
That, don't worry. The money for you to disburse for bursaries in January will be in the account before the schools open. So you don't have to. I know there was like a small riot the other day. And Osoro ran into trouble with some people. Yeah, so, but I want to assure members that we will make sure that there are resources for our children to go to school. That is not negotiable. We will stop other items, we will manage our resources so that we can do that.
Yet less than a week to the reopening of schools, the situation is still the same. Minority Leader in the National Assembly, Opiyo Wandayi, told NTV via a text message that chances are that a majority of students who depend on NG-CDF bursary will not report back to school on Monday. It is an extremely unfortunate state of affairs. End of quote. Our efforts to get a comment from the Treasury were futile, with the situation perhaps the biggest indicator of the financial crunch that the country is in. All eyes are on the activities in the Treasury building that has failed to disburse 2 quarterly tranches of NG-CDF funds since July 2023, totaling to an approximate 53 billion shillings. Ibrahim Karanja, NTV.